That's it? You don't have anything else to say to me today?
What would you like me to say, Sam? Come on now, honey. You're going to miss the bus. Have a good day.
I can't believe this. They fucking forgot my birthday.
"16 Candles" is a 1984 coming-of-age comedy film directed by John Hughes in his directorial debut that would be the first in a series of films that he directed that would center around teenage life in the Midwestern United States. In the fictional Chicago suburb of Shermer, Illinois, high school sophomore Samantha Baker, played by Molly Ringwald, wakes up to find that her entire family has forgotten that it is her 16th birthday. Her parents, Jim and Brenda Baker, played by Paul Dooley and Carlin Glynn, are preoccupied with the following day's wedding of their eldest daughter, Ginny, played by Blanche Baker.
Daddy, I'm the one getting married.
Not until tomorrow. Come on, I got a mouthful of toothpaste.
I happen to have a serious problem.
Dad, she's got her period. Should make for an interesting honeymoon, huh?
Where are you learning that stuff?
School.
Good. Get my money's worth.
Sam heads to school, venting her frustrations to her friend Randy, played by Leanne Curtis. She also fills out a sex quiz that reveals her massive crush on popular senior Jake Ryan, played by Michael Schoeffling. Jake has noticed Sam as well, and despite having a beautiful girlfriend named Carolyn, played by Haviland Morris, he is tired of her party habits and fancies Sam.
There's something about her. Do independent study with her. Kids are looking at me a lot. It's kind of cool the way she's always looking at me. Maybe she's retarded.
After the sex quiz Sam filled out, that reveals she is a virgin and she's saving herself for Jake, winds up in the hands of Jake himself, Sam panics. Back at home, both sets of grandparents arrive for the wedding. Her paternal grandparents, Howard and Dorothy, played by Edward Andrews and Billy Bird, and her maternal grandparents, Fred and Helen, played by Max Showalter and Carol Cook. None of them remember Sam's birthday, and Howard and Dorothy bring along another surprise.
What's happening, hot stuff?
A Chinese foreign exchange student played by Japanese-American actor Getty Watanabe, named Long Duck Dong.
Long Duck Dong is about your age, Sam. You two should have a lot to chat about.
I love visiting with the grandma and the grandpa and writing letters to parents and pushing lawn mowing machines so grandpa's hyena don't get disturbed.
Hernia!
Oh, yes. Indeed, he does the dishes and helps with the laundry, you betcha.
Not only does Long Duck Dong get to sleep in Sam's bedroom, putting her on the couch, but her family persuades her to bring him along to a school dance. At the dance, geeky freshman Ted Farmer, known as Farmer Ted, played by Anthony Michael Hall, tries to dance with Sam, but Sam, pining for Jake, leaves in tears. Ted bets his friends that he can get physical with Sam, and is confronted by a curious Jake, who asks questions about how well Ted knows her.
She grabbed me, guy. I'm totally innocent. Is she yours?
What do you know about her?
She has smallish tits. Decent voice. Smells pretty good. She drives me crazy.
Did she come here with you?
No, but it's okay with my dad. She's going out with me.
Ted apologizes to Sam, who laments her frustrations about her forgotten birthday, her sister's wedding, as well as her crush on Jake.
You like Jake? Jake's my boy! I just talked to Jake in the gym. He asked me about you.
Did not.
He did too. He did. He asked me what you were like.
Oh my... Oh, if you're lying, I'll beat the crap out of you.
I'm not lying.
Oh my God, what should I do?
Despite being interested in her himself, Ted encourages Sam to talk to Jake. As a payment, she gives him her panties so that he can awe his friends and win his bet. With neither Jake nor Sam having the courage to talk to each other, they leave the dance dismayed. In the meantime, Long Duck Dong finds himself slow dancing with a tall, strong jock girl named Marlene, played by Deborah Pollock. At the wild after-party thrown by Carolyn at Jake's house, the house is wrecked, angering Jake even further. After he finds Ted trapped underneath a glass coffee table, the two come to an agreement. Jake takes Sam's underwear from Ted, and in exchange, Jake lets Ted take a drunken Carolyn home in his father's Rolls Royce.
Jake, I don't have a car.
You can take mine.
Jake, I don't have a license.
I trust you.
Hilarity ensues as all of these characters wind up trying to find a way to get who and what they desire the most. This film was written by John Hughes, who had written the screenplays for the 1983 hit movies Mr. Mom and National Lampoon's Vacation. He wrote 16 Candles in 1982, and after the success of those first two films, he was given a 3-year, $30 million contract from Universal Pictures, but they insisted that he do 16 Candles first. The movie was filmed in and around the Chicago area in the summer of 1983. John Hughes had asked his agent for headshots of young actresses, and he received headshots of Robin Wright, Molly Ringwald, and Ali Sheedy. But John Hughes cast Molly Ringwald because after he saw her headshot, he put it up over his desk and wrote the film in just over a weekend, with her specifically on his mind. Molly Ringwald would become sort of a muse for John Hughes. Of all the movies Molly Ringwald made with John Hughes, she said that she had the most fun on 16 Candles. Jim Carrey, Keith Coogan, and Ralph Macchio all tried for the role of the geek Ted Farmer. The role went to National Lampoon's Vacation star Anthony Michael Hall. Despite initially not liking each other, Molly Ringwald and Anthony Michael Hall would date each other briefly between this film and the 1985 film The Breakfast Club. Molly Ringwald and Anthony Michael Hall were both 15 years old during filming. Michael Schoeffling, who plays Jake Ryan, was 23 years old during filming. Viggo Mortensen auditioned for the role, and Molly Ringwald wanted him badly. Molly Ringwald even told Access Hollywood that Viggo Mortensen made her weak in the knees. Getty Watanabe was a 28-year-old Japanese-American playing the teenage Chinese exchange student. Some critics found the character to be insensitive to Asian Americans with the name Long Duck Dong and the gong sound that's used throughout the film.
His name is Long Duck Dong. What? Long Duck Dong.
However, the actor Getty Watanabe defended the character, saying that it was trying to be different from the smart stereotypes of Asians at the time. John Hughes argued that he was parodying foreign exchange students and their American host families in general, rather than foreigners or Asians themselves. There was also some criticism of the scene where the character of Jake tells Ted that his girlfriend Carolyn is in the bedroom right now, passed out cold.
Shit, I got Carolyn in the bedroom right now, passed out cold. I could violate her 10 different ways if I wanted to.
Some critics thought this scene condoned date rape, which I think is a far stretch. At the end of the movie, where it's implied that Carolyn humped Farmer Ted in a drunken stupor which neither can remember much of, it's played more like they had fun, consensual, drunken coitus. That's far from the rapist in the back alley with a knife. I believe it's important to remember the writer's intent and not to overanalyze with modern-day triggered critical analyses.
Jake!
Holy shit.
I'm dead.
Haviland Morris, who plays Carolyn, was actually a natural redhead. John Hughes only wanted one redhead in the movie, and it was Molly Ringwald, so she had to wear a blonde wig. She also didn't want to do the shower scene because the point of it was to show that her character had bigger breasts than the characters of Sam and Randy, which she doesn't. So they had a body double do the nude scene for her. The Motion Picture Association of America initially rated the film R, but John Hughes actually won an appeal for it to be released as PG. Now, this was before PG-13 existed. I'm sure it would have gotten a PG-13 rating a few years later. This movie is an extremely rare example of a PG-rated movie that shows a long scene of a woman's naked, wet, slippery breasts. The song playing in the background of the dance is an instrumental version of the hit song Our House by the band Madness, which was released in 1982. The soundtrack contained several hit songs such as True by Spandau Ballet, Turning Japanese by the Vapors, and Rebel Yell by Billy Idol.
Thank you. No, you're really serious. Thank you.
Now we're both on the pill.
You gave me a birth control pill? You have an idea what that'll do a guy my age?
The film was a decent hit during its theatrical run, opening up in May of 1984 and grossing a worldwide total of $23.6 million on a budget of only $6.5 million. The film became an even bigger hit when it was released on VHS tapes. Many critics enjoyed this film, including Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert, in part because it showed a more mature-minded, family-friendly teenage story compared to the raunchy, X-rated teen films of that era such as Porky's or Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Here's a difference also between Porky's, and that is that the director of this film, John Hughes, writer-director, likes every one of his characters. I don't think the people that made Porky's or its many ripoffs like teenagers. This guy likes teenagers, and it shows through the fine filmmaking.
I like this film, and John Hughes was really something great for film history. I mean, think about the movies this guy wrote. National Lampoon's Vacation, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Mr. Mom, Pretty in Pink, The Great Outdoors, Home Alone, Beethoven, Dennis the Menace. I mean, it goes on and on. Or the movies he directed, 16 Candles, The Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Uncle Buck. I mean, more than that. John Hughes was amazing. When he died from a heart attack at the age of 59 in August 2009, most of the actors and actresses who had worked with him showed a massive outpouring of love and grief. He was really unique, and one thing that even Siskel and Ebert said was that he actually liked teenagers, and he wanted to kind of live out his teenage years vicariously through these movies. I don't know what 1980s and 1990s family comedy films would have been without his writing and directing. He was really great. Molly Ringwald was great as always in this film, and I have to say, Anthony Michael Hall, for me, steals the show in this movie as Farmer Ted. In fact, I find that his character gave me the most laughs when I watched this movie.
Ted, won't we get pounded if we go to a senior party?
We got $70 and we got a pair of girls' underpants. We're safe as kittens, okay?
16 Candles is an iconic part of 1980s pop culture, and I remember growing up in the 1990s, it was a pretty memorable movie. I believe it's actually become even more memorable as time has progressed. This was the movie that really launched Molly Ringwald into superstardom, and it continued the reign of 1980s so-called Brat Pack films. I highly recommend 16 Candles.